It's news time. Information is power. The current. Amaechi, Bishop Onuoha visits Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody. The news in full. Mbazulike Amaechi, a First Republic lawmaker, has visited the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, in custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. Amaechi visited Kanu in company of the co-chairman of the Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, Bishop Sunday Onuoha. The former Minister of Aviation's visit to the pro-Biafra agitator was disclosed by Kanu's brother, Kanu via his Twitter handle. According to Kanunta, the visitors had a meaningful interaction with Kanu. Chief Mbazulike Amaechi and His Grace Bishop Sunday Onuoha visited their son, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, at DSS headquarters in Abuja, where they had a meaningful interaction, Kanu wrote. Amaechi had recently led Igbo elders to the presidential villa, where they met with President Muhammadu Buhari. Speaking on behalf of the elders, Amaechi had urged the president to release Kanu to him. And responding, Buhari had promised to consider their request, where Kanu has been locked up since June after he was rearrested in Kenya and repatriated to Nigeria. And there was an analysis about how the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Barrister Ejiofor, is actually not playing the game so well ahead of the federal government of Nigeria. And this was an analysis by Emeka saying that it would be more beneficial if the council, so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, were actually competent enough to read the games that the presidential are actually playing. The president lacks the power to get Nnamdi Kanu released without completing the trial. Festus Keyamo repeated the pretentious position that the president lacks the power to end the trial. And today, Malami, the Attorney General, repeated the same position by suggesting that discussions of release of Nnamdi Kanu are premature because Nnamdi Kanu is still standing trial. In other words, Malami wants the trial to be completed before pardon could be discussed. He wants Nnamdi Kanu to be convicted and sentenced to death or life before he could be granted pardon and then released. Ironically, Malami can end trial with only 2 paragraphs of written statements entering nolle prosequi in the case. The funny thing is that my Ohanaeze brothers may think that they are smart and that they are, making progress over Nnamdi Kanu's case, when in fact they are complicating matters. Ohanaeze moves may actually turn out against Nnamdi Kanu. They are pleading for forgiveness, which is an admission that Nnamdi Kanu committed the offenses. The leader of the Ohanaeze delegation was quoted to be assuring Buhari that I know how to control him. If you release him to me, I will get him to stop saying those things he was saying. In other words, he admitted that Nnamdi Kanu was inciting violence and preaching ethnic hatred, but that he could stop him from continuing to commit those offenses. The Nigerian government is yet to prove in court that it was indeed Nnamdi Kanu that was making those broadcasts, but our Ohanaeze elders already admitted that fact, thus providing for the state the evidence they may actually not have at trial. If Nnamdi Kanu had a good lawyer, he would have made some critical advances in the case and would have advised Ohanaeze to sit back and watch for the time being. Instead, because there is no good lawyer for Nnamdi Kanu, Ohanaeze is so confused. The Ohanaeze members don't know how to approach this case. They come in as observers of the trial and get denied entry into the courtroom. They monitor the trial from the corridors and parking the lots, and came as delegates to the president to ask for amnesty, but end up admitting to the offenses charged. It is clear that Ohanaeze is at loss, and the president is far more calculated and is ahead of them in strategy and thinking. President will listen to the advice of his Attorney General before deciding how to respond to the Ohanaeze people, and the Attorney General will tell the president that the discussions with Ohanaeze is premature, that he should wait until Kanu is convicted. at the present pace of progress in the trial will not be completed in the next 3 years. But also, the trial can be sped up if Nnamdi Kanu pleads guilty to some of the charges by the way of plea bargain. In other words, the government will ask Nnamdi Kanu to plead guilty to some of the charges in order for the government to drop the other charges and be sentenced to time already served in detention. The guilty plea will effectively disqualify Nnamdi Kanu from holding a political office in the future unless pardoned. So this is quite complicated and too advanced for Nnamdi Kanu's current lead counsel. He is actually a lame duck and unable to even comprehend what is happening. My advice to the Igbos is this: do not underestimate the president and his men. They seem to have a game plan. The Nigerian agent that brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria could have killed him in Kenya if that was what they actually wanted. But no, they had a plan, and their plan is intended to play out through the court. Be careful and smart as you deal with the government. They are not as stupid as they appear clumsy. They have a game plan to permanently suppress the Biafran agitation using Nnamdi Kanu's case. And this is, the analysis by Emeka Ugonye and Esquire for the Movement for Peaceful Change, MPC. And it is needed, to take into consideration this analysis, especially in the case of the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who he has said here that seems incapable. Adembini is capable. He would have seen ahead, the game plan that is being used by, the president and his men, and would have tried as much as possible to, chill the Waneze Indigo, bring them to a rational conclusion and, make them see brighter than they see, rather than just making them, walk and do things in confusion. That seems to have been complicating the issue the more, because as at the point of the court trial, the government does not even have a proof to say that it was truly Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that was broadcasting, those words that are inciting violence or whatever they had called it. However, for the elders who had gone to President Muhammadu Buhari, and actually, say that they would caution him from saying that and committing several offenses, means that they had indirectly or directly agreed that truly he was the one, that was doing those radio broadcasts. And therefore, the writer says that it should not just be thought that the president and his men do not know what they want. They have a very good plan game, just like he has said, that I think they wanted to kill him while they were extraditing from Kenya. They would have done that, but because they had a strategic way of doing these things, they had brought him to ensure that they used the court, as a big measure, to stop the Biafran agitation. Thanks for listening.